There is a big debate raging about Martin O'Neill and whether he was even the right man for this job in the first place. We've got Andy Walker backing a specific candidate to take over this summer and explaining what that man needs to do to actually land the role. Plus, Dundee have issued a blunt warning to Celtic ahead of Sunday, and there's a really interesting update on a player who has been on the fringes all season long. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. A debate has erupted between Charlie Mulgrew and Cy Ferry about the decision to bring Martin O'Neill in as interim manager, and both men are coming at it from completely different angles. Mulgrew sees O'Neill's strengths clearly. He views him as a manager who focuses on organisation, getting the right players on the pitch, and winning games rather than implementing detailed tactical systems. That approach has worked for O'Neill throughout his career, and Mulgrew understands why the club went down that road. Ferry, though, has a very different take. He believes the turning point came after Motherwell beat Celtic at Fir Park earlier this season, and feels that result should have forced the club into a completely different decision in the dugout. He pointed directly at Jens Berthel Askew as the man who should have been brought in at that moment. He said on Open Goal, "Martin O'Neill isn't about 8-6s, inverted fullbacks, or any of that kind of detail. That's not him. I'm not saying he doesn't know the game. Martin O'Neill is a man manager who gets good players on the pitch. How he gets there, I don't think he really cares. I think he wants the basics done right. And apart from that, just win the game." He went further, saying, "I just thought when Nancy was getting sacked and after what he'd done to them at Fir Park, he should have been the guy. It would have been a no-brainer to go and get him. What are you waiting on? You've just seen it in front of your eyes what he can do with lesser players." It is worth keeping some perspective here, though. Martin O'Neill has stepped in twice this season when Celtic needed stability at 74 years of age, and has done so without anywhere near the backing or resources required to reshape things properly. The issues run far deeper than one manager. He has been left to manage a mess that was building long before he arrived, and the vast majority of the Celtic support appreciate him enormously for what he has given this club over the years. Now for the main story, as Andy Walker has named his preferred candidate to become the next permanent Celtic manager and delivered a clear message about what that person needs to do to actually land the job. Walker's pick is Jens Berthel Askew, the Motherwell manager who has been drawing attention all season for the work he has done at Fir Park. Motherwell have looked well organised, sharp with the ball, and genuinely hard to beat under him. That has not gone unnoticed, and Walker believes it is more than enough to justify serious consideration for the Celtic job. He said on the Go Radio football show, "My favourite would be you wouldn't need to look too far, just up the road at Motherwell." I think Jens Berthel Askew has been absolutely terrific this season, the style of play, what he's done with Motherwell and for Motherwell. I think even just the way he conducts himself. But Walker was also very direct about the scale of the challenge ahead, saying the next manager is walking into a genuine rebuild. He said it's a huge step, of course, to go to Celtic, especially this summer, because it is nowhere near any sort of settled team. So many players are there on loan, so many players are going to leave, so many want to be away, and maybe should have been sold earlier for a maximum profit. I think we would all agree it's maybe that there's maybe been a bit of mismanagement there. And then came the crucial point. Walker made clear that getting the job is not just about impressing the football department. He said, "Of course, it's up to Dermot Desmond. They can do all the homework they want on any individual. If Dermot Desmond doesn't like him, then he'll not get the job." That is the reality of how this works at Celtic Park. The principal shareholder carries serious weight in any appointment, and whoever comes in will need to tick that box as well as the football one. Askew may well be the best candidate on paper, but landing the job requires more than just a good CV. In other news, Stephen Pressley has delivered a pointed warning to Celtic ahead of Sunday's meeting at Dens Park, and he is not mincing his words about how his Dundee side are approaching this one. The former Celtic defender knows exactly what losing a game does to a club at this stage of the season. He has been in those environments and understands the pressure that comes with every result when the title race is tight. And he is expecting Celtic to come to Dens Park with something to prove after their last outing. He told Record Sport, "Of course you expect a reaction from Celtic because they're a wounded animal after defeat in their last game. Our games against them this season have been very competitive, so we have to make sure this one on Sunday is too. We expect a reaction from Celtic, so we'll have to be ready for that." But Pressley was also clear that Dundee have their own reasons to be motivated. They are still working on securing Premiership survival for next season and have points to chase themselves. He added, "Obviously, they have the pressure of the title race, but we also have plenty to play for because we're trying to make sure we retain our Premiership status for next season. We still have work to do on that front, so it's an important game for both teams. Can we exploit any pressure Celtic are under? I hope so, but the focus is on ourselves and the objectives we have." That is the thing about this fixture. Both sides genuinely need something from it. Celtic desperately need 3 points to keep any title hopes alive. Dundee need points for their own survival. That combination makes for a very competitive and very pressurised afternoon. Celtic have form for struggling in these tight games this season, and Pressley knows it. In other news, Celtic winger Michel-Ange Balikwisha has been handed what could be a significant personal boost after DR Congo confirmed their qualification for the 2026 World Cup, though his own path to that tournament remains very much uncertain. Balikwisha has had a really difficult time since arriving at Celtic. Game time has been almost non-existent, and he has not managed to nail down a regular place in the team at any point during his spell at the club. Wide players need consistent minutes and regular touches in the final third to stay sharp, and he simply has not been getting that. That lack of form at club level has carried directly into the international picture. Despite DR Congo going through, Balikwisha was not included in the latest squad, which included the playoff win over Jamaica that sealed their World Cup spot. Missing out on that call-up is a real setback for his World Cup hopes because the tournament is getting closer and managers tend to pick players in form and rhythm. There is still a window of opportunity. With DR Congo now confirmed as a World Cup nation, there will be further international fixtures and preparation camps between now and the tournament. If Balikwisha can find a way to get regular minutes, whether at Celtic in the run-in or through a potential move this summer, there is still a route back into the squad. But right now, things are not moving in the right direction. He is on the outside of the Celtic team and on the outside of the international setup. His country is going to the World Cup, which is a fantastic achievement for DR Congo football, but making that squad himself is going to take a serious improvement in form and availability over the next few months. Lastly, Peter Lawwell has landed a significant role in European football following his departure from Celtic, with the European Club Association confirming he will remain on their board as an independent member. Lawwell stepped down from his position as Celtic chairman last year, which also brought an end to his role as vice chair of the European Club Association, since that position was tied to holding an active role at a club. However, rather than simply stepping away from the organisation entirely, the ECA board moved to retain his experience by keeping him on in an independent capacity. The decision was confirmed at a recent board meeting in Prague, where senior figures within the organisation chose to maintain his involvement in discussions that shape European club football at the highest level. That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.